What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Lunar Nation podcast with another episode. I'm your host, Frans, with my fellow co hosts, Arrow and Sagun. Today, we will be discussing a topic that, depending on how you look at it, should bring positivity and thoughtfulness to your mind. And that is, what is the law of attraction and does it really exist? The law of attraction is a pseudoscience based on the belief that positive or negative thoughts bring positive or negative experiences into a person's life. The belief is based on the ideas that people and their thoughts are made from pure energy, and that a process like energy attracting like energy exists through which a person can improve their health, wealth, and personal relationships. While there is no scientific evidence supporting the law of attraction, many have become advocates and believers in this philosophy, even gaining massive attention through a book published in 2006 called The Secret. So that was a brief synopsis of the law of attraction and what it entails. It's a very interesting philosophy, and nonetheless, many believe in it. Again, like I stated earlier, um, it's not really. There's no scientific evidence that proves it or whatnot, like the law of gravity. But like I said, there's many believers, and it's become very popular. I believe it's actually started in 1906. It was first started. I believe I have to look it up by who named a book or an article after it. But anyways, it's become bigger in time. And you hear all the time people saying, think about it and it'll manifest, or you are who you surround yourself with. So there's a lot of things that people will say that if you just think about it into existence, it will come to you in real life. And I want to start off with Arrow and get his opinions and thoughts on this philosophy and beliefs of the law of attraction.
Yeah, so the book that you mentioned is called Law of Success, written by Napoleon Hill in 1928, which is basically about an author who goes and interviews well established tycoons like Andrew Carnegie, Morgan Stanley, I think Morgan Chase. Maybe I'm mixing up something on it, but he interviews them and he pretty much tries to understand what is it that attracts them to this like richness. I remember reading one part of the book and it was kind of interesting. There was a part where about basically there was a salesperson who was always like, putting his heart out to wherever he was selling. So what happened in this scenario was he saw a lady outside in the rain. All he did was come out and just accompany her to make sure she was, she had a companion while she was waiting for her taxi to come. Well, he was such a great guy to her that even though his intention was not his intention was not to sell her anything, what happened was 3 days later he gets a call from the upper floor. I guess that's the upper management, and then they tell him that the lady that he was accompanying was Andrew Carnegie's mother, and because of his like he did such a great job
His good
that
deeds.
she wants him to furnish, I don't know, this mansion in Scottsdale. I mean, not Scotland, Scotland,
Scotland.
uh,
You're getting your
Scotland.
continents wrong.
Yeah, Scotland, and he just became wealthy. So I don't know what Sagun. What do you think about law of attraction or law of success?
Um,
Or yeah.
yeah, no, I just think that, like what Franz was saying in his intro, is that if you have that kind of similar mindset, then I feel like you're going to be attracted to people with similar mindsets. So even like Arrow and Franz, we're in that podcast mindset, right? So I just feel like just because like we want to be successful, we that's why one of the reasons is we made this podcast because we want to grow and we want to become like entrepreneurs and all everything. So I just think that it's just like-minded individuals like us is what that can help each other succeed and grow, and that's kind of what I think.
100%. Like I mentioned earlier, I mean, you are who you surround yourself with. I mean, if you're gonna surround, I think what was the thing like you hang around five successful people, you're gonna become the six. You know, if
Oh
you
yeah,
hang
for
around
sure.
five people that are bum nation, you're going to be the sixth bum nation. So um, there's definitely a lot of, like I said, there's no proven science for this, but I believe that if you surround yourself or you think about positive thoughts, I think it's going to lead you towards doing something or going towards the right direction. And the reason I say that is actually because our brain is one of the most intelligent things in the world. Is actually like, it's basically like a massive computer. It's a problem solving machine. Okay. So now let's look at it this way. Put it into example. If you're looking for a job or you're trying to start a business, you're not going to be sitting there, and because I think some what people think of like the law of attraction and what some people mistaken it is like, oh, I want to be a millionaire, and just because you think of it, you're going to be a millionaire. Well, you know what? It's not going to work like that, because if you just sit on your ass all day and do nothing, nothing's going to happen to you. You're just going to be in the same position as you are. But if you're saying, oh, I want to be a millionaire, I want to start a business, I want to help other people, you have all these ambitions and these goals, depending on how you're using your brain is going to be a problem solving machine. So it's going to take that problem and it's going to think of solutions. You want to be a businessman, you want to create wealth. Well, how are you going to do that? You're going to sell a product, you're going to sell a service. How do you start? Do you need a mentor? You're going to start doing research, and slow and steady. It's going to take you and lead you to a path, and eventually, all that hard work you're going to put in is going to lead to that success. So it's like you're looking at from the perspective of like, oh, I thought about like I want to be successful and whatnot, and I did it, and it led to that. But at the end of the day, it led to that hard work. So it's like you're kind of like confused. It's like you're making you're tricking your mind. You're playing mind games, but really it's your mind solving these problems to lead you to your end goal and final destination.
That's true, Franz. Similar to what I thought as well, is that you are what you want to be. You are what you think that you're going to become. So let's say, like, if you want to really, like, just funny thing, like climb Mount Everest, right? It's not, you're gonna obviously have to put the work in it, but at least it'll give you that mentality of, oh, you can do it, right? Instead of having that negative mindset and saying, like, you know what, I can't do this, I can't, like, having that anxiety and all that, right? It's not gonna help you. But if you have that kind of thought, that ambition to become successful and conquer whatever that you want to do, then you are going to do it. So I just want to just add one more thing, is that, one of the ways that I personally practice the law of attraction is that I write all my thoughts in a journal. I actually do that. And the reason I do that is because it's for organization. It helps me keep myself motivated, so that each day I have a task, I'll write it down, and what I want to achieve. And each day when I achieve it, I feel good about it. And the next day, I want to conquer even more. So it's kind of like an addiction, in my opinion. It's like once you complete one task, you want to complete another task, to a point that it leads you to that path of success, what Franz was saying.
That's interesting. I would say I'm a very organized person. I per se don't write anything down myself, but I probably should, just because sometimes I keep it all in my
Oh,
head
yeah.
and sometimes I do forget.
Yeah.
So I mean, for you, Sagun, it helps you out when you write everything down and you
Oh, yeah,
like
for
look.
sure.
Do you like schedule out your day, or do you just like write like
Um,
big things that you need to do throughout the week and then you just act upon it?
so for me, I honestly don't really schedule out my day, because I feel like scheduling just puts a lot of pressure. I did do this before when I scheduled out my day. Like, this time I'm gonna do exactly this, but with life, it happens. You're not gonna get that exact, time, so you might need to readjust. So what I do is, like, every morning, I just make a list of things that I need to accomplish. Doesn't mean it has to be a specific time, but in my mind, I have a mental note of saying, like, when I'm gonna achieve it. And when I do that, then it's good, right? I don't have that specific, like, time frame of, oh, I'm gonna complete this assignment or something, or do this, or even the podcast as well, right? I just write it down, so that I know that I'm gonna achieve that in that moment, right? I mean, not moment, sorry, in that day.
Right,
So
right.
once I have that, I mean, it's some people, it depends on how people's brains work as well, right? Because everyone's brain works at a different way. Personally, my brain is that if I have a list of tasks that I need to accomplish, doesn't matter what time, I actually do it much more stress free, and actually I do it more efficiently, rather than being in a timed, stressful environment.
Sounds good. Okay.
All right, let me jump in. So, um, here's the thing of law of attraction. It's you attract what you think about. Now I remember this specific quote from the radio. I believe it was by Earl Nightingale, 1954, 1956. It was recorded, and he keeps saying you attract what you think about, and your mind is like a magnet. What you think is what you attract, and what you attract is basically what you think about. So in this case scenario, law of attraction is definitely true in my opinion, because if you keep saying every day, hey, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired, your mind is gonna think you're tired. You're gonna go sleep. Or if you say, oh, you know what, I like the movie, I felt good, you feel good. You can make yourself, it's like a placebo, you know what I mean? When you go out, you have the good feelings, and when you feel good, everything happens for a reason. Now, Franz, you could add on to that.
I actually have a question for you. So you said I understand the feeling part, like oh, like you want to watch a movie or you want to do this activity and you feel good, then you keep on saying that, like, oh, I'm be excited, or I'm tired, I'm going to go to sleep. What about as far as actions? Like, do you believe that this, as far as the law of attraction theory or philosophy, in regards to like action and wanting an actual, whether it's something like a tangible object or an actual goal, so I know you say you're a believer in it, but do you believe that just by saying these thoughts and whatever, that they're gonna one day just automatically poof appear out of nowhere?
No, I don't know, but I don't think so. You obviously have to act on it. So if you say, "Oh, I want to be in shape," and you sit down and sleep, you're not gonna be in shape. That's just common math.
Right, right.
And I mean, let's use Arnold Schwarzenegger for example. Let's go into his autobiography and see if the law of attraction actually worked for him. So I know a little bit about him. Read a lot about him actually. I know about his autobiography where
I think he's your hero. To be
he
honest,
He's definitely a
no,
role model. I'll tell you that.
yeah, yeah, role model,
100%. You've
role
mentioned him
model.
like at least 5 times in the last few episodes.
I think he has a poster of him in his room. I'm just saying,
I
just
tell you what, I think I'm not the only one. There's a bunch of other people, but here, so when he was, I think he was in his teen, he went to school in Austria, and he really hated Austria because he was from a village. I don't know. He probably was chasing goats. I don't know, but he came across this magazine. The guy who was in the magazine was named Reg Park. Reg Park was a professional Australian bodybuilder, and then so Arnold became really inspired with the magazine, right? So he kept saying, he's like, "Oh, I thought I will think about it and read it, and just like I will think about it so much that I will do it." So he would work out. So he worked out because he saw he was so inspired, and then slowly and steadily he became famous throughout Europe, and then he came to America. And then when he came to America, he did his bodybuilding championship. I don't know if you both seen the documentary Pumping Iron. Have you any of you seen it?
Nah, I've heard of it though.
Okay, well, whenever you get a chance, watch it. It's really, I don't know. I like it. There's some humor, and obviously it predates our time, so it's definitely like a little historical archive. But if you think about it, he not only like thought about getting in shape, he acted on it. And then when he came to America, he did his bodybuilding championship. He became a bodybuilder. He won Mr. Olympia, Mr. Golden Universe, going to the famous Golden Gym, that which is one of the famous gyms in California, because all the bodybuilder champions go in there and work out. He What he did is he transitioned to the movie industry. Now, what he said, this is what he said. He's like, when I was trying to transition to the movie industry, everyone was telling me, "Oh, Arnold, you're a big guy. You're like a tank. You're like a monster." And then the accent, oh gosh, like it's it's so heavy. Like maybe you could play in a scene where there's a Nazi officer. So you know what he did? He didn't accept what people told him. He strived himself. He believed in himself, and obviously we know you probably saw one of his movies, Terminator
Of
or Conan
course.
the Barbarian. So here, I think law of attraction is true, but in the process of gaining it, you gotta have haters. So you're not supposed to believe on those haters because once haters gets in your head, done deal.
Yeah. Also, like, you know how all these like famous celebrities, right? I mean, if they really got controlled by haters, I mean, they would not even be alive right now, in my opinion. Because the hate on like, YouTube and all these like different platforms, right? With all the, the racism that, these athletes get as well. So all these racist comments, I'm sorry. And then just all the negativity, if they really focus on that negativity, then where would they be in their lives? They wouldn't be able to do what they're supposed to do, like their tasks. Like if there's an athlete, just like play sports or something, or be an actor, or something like that, right? So negativity strives towards that, but they look at it in a positive sense. They have a plan of what they want to do. They probably do like what I do, probably like write a journal or have like these goals set in mind.
Right,
So
right. Have some sort of
just
goals or milestones that they want to achieve.
exactly, because if you don't have that, then what's the point, right? Like,
Yeah, 100%. And like, not to cut you off, just like how I was talking about earlier, how people, I think sometimes it's like a red pill, blue pill. Like when people say, oh, the law of attraction, just visualize it, focus on it, and manifest it, and it will happen. Sounds like red pill, blue pill, or like in my own terms, it sounds like a con to me. What I'm trying to say is that like how Nike has what's their slogan, just do it.
yeah,
You actually got to act upon it because just like I said, like I mentioned earlier, I'm a big believer that if you just think about it, it's not going to happen. You actually got to do it because if you don't do it, nothing's going to happen. You're just going to be a cheese puff.
big cheap cheese puff.
um. Okay, so here, let me ask you guys a question. Law of attraction, thinking positive, getting positive. Now, let's think of negative. Do you like, you know, let's say someone's always negative, right? They always talk about, oh, I don't have a good day or blah blah blah. What are the chances of you liking to hang out with him or her and keep the conversation going? Like, would you even hang out with them?
Not really. I mean, people like that are like downers. I mean, it's not to say everyone because everyone has bad days or
Yeah,
bad
for sure.
experiences and whatnot. So not everyone's going to be having a good time. But for someone that's always complaining and being negative and not taking responsibility for the actions and always blaming someone else is not someone you really want to be hanging around with because at the end of the day, it's just going to bring you down. It's not going to motivate you and it's not going to take you to the next level.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've had like friends that have actually converted to that. Just pure negativity. And do you know what I did? Like using my scissors, I cut them away. They're poof, they're gone.
You're like,
It's
little
like,
bird fly away.
yeah, basically I took them out of the cage, they're gone, in the wild. They're free. Like people like that just don't really deserve to be in your life, in my opinion. If you're a really positive guy, if you have goals, ambitions, they're just gonna be there to drag you down. It's like putting like, I don't know, like a rock in your pocket or something. You're just gonna be like, it's gonna be heavy, right? Like when you're running or something like that, or when you're going up a flight of stairs. Like you just don't want that. You just throw that rock. You throw that rock in an ocean or a lake. Get it over with. You hang out with people who strive to make you more successful. Positive people, positive role models. Like you look at all these athletes who's been like sacrificing successful. You look towards them and you strive to be like them. Strive for greatness is what I think.
Right, right.
I want to say
100%. No,
something. I want to say something before I
yes, go
forget it.
ahead. Go ahead.
So Bruce Lee has this quote. He's like, if you always put limits on everything you do, physical or anything else, it will spread into your work and into your life. There are no limits. There are only shoot, I can't even see this.
Oh, this guy can't read.
I
Plat
I think Arrow, you need to strive to get more
Oh,
glasses.
there are only plateaus, my bad. I'm sorry. And you must not stay there. You must go beyond them. So I think what it basically means is you're always gonna face these blockades, right? In life you always face Like think about it. When you're a kid, right? You're always like happy. You're always excited, even though I don't know. You, for all I know, you could be probably like playing with a pencil, and that just makes you like super excited, right?
Bro,
But it's the
I played with a toy rock and I got excited.
yeah,
So
it's all about imagination because imagination attracts what you want in life. And law of attraction is all about imagination, thinking positive. Obviously, we're me, Sagun, and Frans, we're all like, we're all striving to be better. I mean, like our last couple of episodes where we talked about we're not gonna live forever, but we hope so. You want to live life the way you see it, right? So, law of attraction is think positive and do things that you want to achieve, and that's something we all need to explore.
Right, right, 100%. And I think Arrow knows more a lot about him, but I think a big advocate and a big teacher and mentor of law of attraction was a fella named by Bob Proctor. I know Arrow knows a little bit more about him, but he was always into like,
He passed away in February, I believe.
was it this
rest in
year?
peace.
Yeah, he passed away this year.
R.I.P. to that guy. I've seen a couple of his videos and whatnot. He very interesting topics. He was very smart. And I know he was very big on the law of attraction.
I don't want to cut you off. I just want to add one point to it.
Yeah,
So when
sure.
I mentioned earlier Earl Nightingale about like what you think, what you attract. So Bob Proctor was basically like the student, and Earl Nightingale was the mentor. So Bob Proctor was always looking at Earl Nightingale with like a glaze in his eyes, like wow, like I want to be like him.
Yeah, 100%. I was actually just gonna connect it because I believe you told me that to me. It's just like how you look at Arnold Schwarzenegger as your mentor, and like when you look at him, you're like your eyes get all like big, round, and like stargazing. It's like beautiful.
Bro, he
But
gets really excited. Let's just say that.
100%. But no, just like I was saying, Bob Proctor was a big advocate on a lot of attraction, and before he passed away, he was running seminars and making videos and explaining his thoughts and theories behind it. And I know Arrow knows a little bit more about it, but he would talk about changing your paradigm. If you want to take over Arrow and explain that a little bit to the audience.
So your paradigm is basically your situation. That's what I believe. Franz, you also reviewed that too. So paradigm is like what you think, and like if you don't like where you're at, you need to change something, right? You can't go with the same flow because at the end of the day, if the river flows the same, what change is there? Nothing. So let's say I wake up every day and I say I hate work. I keep doing it. Nothing's gonna happen. My paradigm is your destiny. Am I right, Franz? Paradigm's destiny is your future.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So,
And I think the way like Bob Proctor would like say it, did you? I mean, I forgot like how exactly it was, but remember you said something about like envision yourself in 6 months from now and like setting these like milestone goals.
oh yeah, yeah, for sure. So I think he got that from Earl Nightingale, but Earl Nightingale uses it a little different. What Earl Nightingale says is he's like, think of yourself as a ship, and you're the captain of your own vessel. Where destination are you headed, and why are you headed there? So he's like, if you're supposedly lost, you're leading to no destination. So he's like, hypothetically put in a situation like this. He's like, if you're gonna go on a cruise ship, you're not gonna go on a cruise ship with a captain that has absolutely no idea where they are going.
Unless you really want to be a lost boy.
Yeah, maybe go in that. Where's that area where the ship sinks?
The Bermuda Triangle.
Ah, Bermuda Triangle, man. You go Bermuda Triangle, poof.
Yeah, I
But
mean that's already game over. That's already a negative experience right there.
exactly. So you want to go on a ship with a destination in mind. So he's like, think about life as a destination. What is your destination? So Earl Nightingale, actually reverting back to Earl Nightingale in his 1954 1956 recording, he says, if you ask 30 men or 100 men, why do you wake up and go to work? 98 out of them would even not even know why they're going to work, besides making money. But besides that, why are they going to work? You know what I mean? Because to work,
For sure.
why are you going to work? If you think about it deeply, you're gonna face these Mount Everest hills. You're like, oh, I don't even know why I'm going to work. At the moment you figure out why you're going to work, what you're doing in life, then I think you have a clear path.
Yeah, it's also because like you know how you're going to work, right? But then like let's say you have like your friends too, they're going to work. So I kind of think that it's kind of your influence as well, like society itself, right? You have a bunch of people like your friends, right? I mean, they're going to work and they're like, "Oh, you know what? I have to probably go to work too," you know? So it's based off what I think, this is my opinion is that it's just based off the influence of, humans interaction, overall is like we were kind of I guess had an expectation, to go to, work, college, education, all that, right? But let's say you don't go there, right? Then as human nature, you kind of feel left out of society. And you're like, oh, well, like, what am
because
I
it's
even
like
doing?
embedded in social norm that you got
It,
to
it
do
is it
these
is embedded
like
in
you follow
social
this
norms.
order.
Exactly. So it's like you feel kind of out of place, and humans, their kind of tendencies that they don't really want to be out of place. They want to be included like in a pack, right? They want to be belonged, in like a society. So if someone else is going to work, then chances are that you're gonna go to work because like what else are you gonna do? Are you just gonna sleep or like eat a burger or something? Like there's gonna be a high chance you're gonna do what they're gonna do.
100%, 100%. I like that. Just to add a little bit more to what Arrow was talking about in regards to Bob Proctor and the paradigm theory that he proposes all the time. So basically, I know how he stated that the paradigm starts. It's like a program that's installed in the subconscious mind, and it really starts when you're born, and it's really inherited through genetics and also environmental conditioning. But you got to really tap into your subconscious mind, which is gonna affect your your creativity, your effectiveness, productivity, use of time and whatnot. And you got to start your day off by asking yourself questions like, what is my purpose today, and your gratitude, and what are you going to be laser focused on today, and are you happy? What is your goal for like for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, a year? Basically, like creating like a vision board that people create sometimes. And it's like these small things that I think people forget or think that are dumb, are actually small things that actually will lead to bigger achievements later on. It's taking these small baby steps that will lead to these giant leaps in the future.
I want to add something.
But
Bob Proctor also mentions that you have to know yourself. So I feel like it's kind of a dumb question, but at the end of the day, if you think about it, it's not really a dumb question. He keeps There's this really famous recording. I think it was in the 80s. I showed it to you, Franz, where he goes and says, "Do you know yourself?" Because he's like, people don't really know themselves. When you understand yourself, then you understand your mind. When you understand your mind, you understand what you're attracting. So I think some people should take a moment of silence and just. I think that's why like people meditate and successful people meditate because that goes a long way because they're actually like with themselves or their subconscious mind, and that is just a clearer picture.
yes, 100%. Your mind's not all congested with, oh, I got to check these emails, text messages, what's going on, who's gossiping, who's doing this. So definitely meditating and being with inner peace in yourself can definitely help. So Sagun, did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
Yeah, just quickly, like when you said about meditation, right? It's basically like to isolate yourself, right, from all the problems that are, happening in your life, like you said. So it's like you're basically in a different body. If you kind of really think about it, it's that when you're meditating, right? You're basically really focusing on just yourself, your body, your inner peace. So, like, just because of that, it just builds that kind of like positive energy, in my opinion. I mean, I also do some meditation, so I kind of know about it. So,
For sure,
it
for
just
sure.
it's
Yeah,
just something like that that it just brings positivity, and I'm always about positivity. So, as well as hopefully the listeners are as
For
well.
sure. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, like I always said, the brain is a problem solving machine. The clearer and concise your mind is, I think the better focus you'll be. So that's good. Arrow, did you have anything else that you wanted to add, or you're good?
I think
No,
Arrows.
I'm fine. I think we covered. If the audience have are more interested and they feel like there's some questions that weren't really covered, we're always open to suggestions.
Yeah, be sure. I mean, if the audience, if you guys have any further questions, or you're confused about anything, or you'd like to know more information, just hit us up in our social links, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Be sure to comment us, DM us. We definitely be love we'd love to answer any questions you guys may have. And
We we
yeah, go
feed
ahead.
on the feedback.
Oh,
It's
100%.
like the energy, like just like what we were saying, right? All the positive, comments really like fuel us up. So
Yeah, and also like any suggestions to explore different realms within it, we're always open to looking into that as well.
Yeah, I know we're talking about like a pretty broad category, but if you guys have any subcategories that you want to specifically dive deep in, or have any further questions, just yeah, let us know. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and rate this episode. And tune in for next episode. We'll see you guys soon.